Welcome to Dorset. Today we're at Chapmans Pool for sunset. Great to see you all again. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a look just behind me there. We've got some gorgeous light just out on Chapmans Pool at the Jurassic Coast in Dorset. It's really shaping up to be a nice session, hopefully. The forecast has been frankly terrible. It was for dark cloud, rain, but I kept looking outside and it just had that look that it might change and we might get some of this gorgeous light. So I just threw caution to the wind and came out. And I think, you know, it's a really important lesson to say, don't always just rely on the weather forecast, because these guys, they get it wrong for a pastime. As we all know, landscape photography is just a nightmare for this. But yeah, just look behind. We've got some gorgeous light on here. So I'm going to get a couple of pictures just while I can. The whole idea with today's shot is we've actually got the light just to my right here, and it's really pushing in on the pool itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a nicely side lit subject, hopefully, and as that sun gets lower in the sky, hopefully it will cast golden beams of light right into the pool and it will light up all the surrounding cliff edge. The cliff just in the background there is called Hound's Tout, and I plan to do a video from that one at some point as well and show you the opposite side of the bay. But for today, we're on the other side of Chapman's Pool. We're stood right on the top of the cliff and we're looking across, because this is where the light's probably going to be at its best today, I feel. We're about just half an hour away from sunset. It's been a real mad rush to come out. As I say, conditions, they looked frankly terrible earlier on, but they just started getting a little bit better and better. And I just had this thought that some light might come through. And we've got this fantastic dark cloud just behind, and it should hopefully make for a really good contrasty shot. I absolutely adore shooting light, as you probably know by now. It's just so fantastic. It reveals all the contours of the landscape, looks beautiful. It really is a stunning way to shoot. Because we're shooting side lit today, we're using a polarizer. Polarizers are always most effective when they're used at a 90-degree angle to the sun, and it really does help bring out all those colours, boost the saturation. You can see the light behind me really starting to kick off, and the pool itself has got a fantastic turquoise colour, and the polarizer is really helping to boost that colour and bring it out. I'm not quite sure what it is underneath. A lot of places around here, they've got a chalk bed, and it tends to make the water a little bit more turquoise, but here at Chapman's, it's actually a very dark stone that you can see at low tide. So I'm not quite sure how it gets its turquoise colour, but it really does look superb. It's a stunning location. As you can see now, we've got light just kissing the edge of Hound's Tout at the back here, and our foreground, which is just down here, all lit up. It's absolutely perfect. So hopefully we're going to nail a reasonable shot out of this one. I'm not sure what sunset's going to bring, but we're after the light really. So that's what we're going for, and fingers crossed we can nail a decent shot. There's quite a bit of messy foreground just in front of me, so I'm trying my best to actually crop that out of frame, but it's very difficult because I want to get the full coastline all the way down in the frame as well. So I am forced to shoot a little bit wider than I would normally do on this particular shot, but I just don't particularly want that messy foreground in there as well. It really is quite an unsightly look to the picture, but the flat edge here of the stone looks superb. So that will be our foreground really on this particular shot. The hope for today is that the light is actually going to illuminate just in front of us. We've got some flanks that of the cliff that actually come out, and it forms a little platform. You can actually go and stand on it, but it's a particularly windy day, and I've got to be honest, I don't fancy standing on the edge of a cliff that could potentially crumble, especially in this wind. So we're going to stay a little bit further back, and we're going to actually incorporate the front of the cliff into our foreground, so it should look quite attractive, hopefully. The light's fluctuating quite a bit at the moment. We've got a bit of cloud cover out there. It's possible we'll get the sun blocked at some point, but you know, we're just going to have to keep holding on for the time being and hope that the cloud passes and the sun's allowed to come through, and we're just going to get that light exactly where we want it. Chapman's Pool itself, you can walk right the way down to the pool, but it's a little bit of a trek on the way back up when you're carrying all your gear. So today we're quite happy to be shooting from the cliff top, I think, but it is particularly nice down there. And it's an absolute haven for fossils. If you go down to Chapman's Pool, you can literally see ammonites all over the place down there. There's big rocks, you know, sort of still stuck into the ground with ammonites all inside them. It really is fantastic. It's probably one of the best known fossil grounds here. Maybe the exception of Charmouth and Lyme Regis, but certainly if you're in Dorset and you're this way and you're into fossils, pay a trip to Chapman's Pool. It really is superb. I love shooting when you've got that big, thick, dark, moody cloud behind you and you've got light on your subject. It just looks so good. The contrast is amazing. It's, for me, the best way to shoot, and I absolutely adore doing it. Sadly, we just don't get these conditions enough. Usually if you've got thick, dark cloud like this behind me, then when the sun's setting, you've got, you know, thick dark cloud in front of it and you can't see it. But today we've called it just right. We've got the clearer skies out towards the sea and all the thick cloud just inland here. So we've been really, really lucky, and I'm glad we ignored the weathermen. Well, the cloud behind me actually looks like it's going to catch a little bit. I don't think it's going to be amazing colour, but there's certainly a little bit of tone up there, so we might be able to do something with it. But yeah, a couple of sort of reddy pink hues in there, and a little bit of orange. The sun's probably only about 10-15 minutes away from setting now, looking at it. There is a bank of cloud there, but there's a very, very small gap just underneath, so we might actually get lucky. I don't think we'll get the light coming on these flanks as much anymore. As you can see, it's dulled down, but we might get a bit of colour, and that'll make another interesting shot. So I'm not going to move. I'm going to stick to the same position here and just do a couple of shots of this particular one. There's some fantastic bits and pieces all the way down this stretch, some really good foreground. But I think this is probably one of the best ones. It's certainly my favourite down here, but maybe another day we'll come and I'll show you a few of the others. It's all got a little bit moody down here at Chapman's Pool right now. I mean, just look at that cloud behind. It's really, really fierce, dark cloud, but it's colouring up a little bit sort of pinky red right now. It's really, really starting to look good. But I've got to be honest, I hope the sun sets soon. I'm absolutely frozen at the moment. It's really, really bitterly cold, this wind, but it's been so worth coming out, and I'm really pleased you could join me for this one. These clouds have just moved exactly where we wanted them to. They've come right the way across into our shot, and it does look like they're going to catch a little bit. They're certainly starting to turn a tiny bit of colour now already. So yeah, we might well get another shot on this one and get a nice decent sunset. So that would be a right result. Well, it's not turned out to be too bad a shoot. As I say, I'm really, really glad I came out. There's some decent colour that's been forming out there, and the light on the flanks are fantastic. So yeah, really, really good. I mean, two quite different shots really. One very much focused on the light, still, you know, a lot of daylight out here, and then another one obviously with the sunset and a bit of colour in the clouds, everything a lot darker. Which do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know what you think. I just wanted to give a big shout out to Mally, Gary and all the guys from the Photography Pubcast. They gave me a shout out the other week, and I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate that support, and it was really, really kind of you to do it. So thank you very much. I'll link them up in the description. Go and give them a subscribe. The Pubcast is hilarious. It's some great photography discussion, always some banter, and you should like it. There's 6 guys on there, all of them absolute legends. So go check them out, give them a sub. I want to give a shout to everybody who's been sharing these videos as well. I can't tell you just how much I appreciate that and how much it helps the channel. It's so difficult when you're a new channel to try and get the word out and let people know what you're doing. And, you know, there's some people out there who may well enjoy it, and they obviously don't know about it yet. So I really do appreciate everyone who's sharing this. So thank you very much for that. And also to the people who are dropping likes on there, hitting subscribe. You know, it makes such a difference to the channel, and I've been blown away with the support. So thank you so much for that. I really, really am super grateful. Well, it really has been fantastic conditions down here at Chapman's Pool. We've had that light, and that really is what we came for, and I can't complain at that. It's just a beautiful thing to shoot. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. And if you get a moment, I'd love it if you hit that like button on here. It really does help the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.